Hi, and welcome everybody to the Brandworkers Awards Gala, where tonight we will be celebrating food factory workers who've been engaging in solidarity, direct action, and worker-led unions to create more dignified and equitable workplaces. And we're going to be celebrating two incredible honorees you'll learn more about later tonight. We are so excited you could join us for what is surely going to be a very memorable and powerful evening. But if you haven't already, let's kick off tonight by saying hi in the live chat. You all know where that is. Hopefully there's a steady stream of comments happening right now. And let us know where you're joining us from tonight. All right, one of our first comments is from Diana, lead organizer at Brainworkers, and they're so excited for tonight's event. Welcome to everybody. That's very lovely. We got Rose, buenas noches a todos from Astoria, Queens. Good evening. Oh, we love the bilingual comment. Thank you so much for that, Rose. I appreciate it. We've got Esmeralda. Hi, everyone. My name is Esme, and I'm an organizer at Brainworkers. Oh, so incredible to see so many organizers and people helping make the important work that we're celebrating tonight happen. Saying hi in the chat. I guess I should introduce myself. My name is Gabe Gonzalez. I'm a writer, a comedian, and actor living in Brooklyn, New York. Despite those three titles, my mother insists that I am still underemployed and not quite achieving what I promised her I would when I was younger. But she might be tuning in tonight, so hopefully she's excited. Today is my birthday. I couldn't think of a better night to be joining you all tonight. And hopefully if my mom is there, she's got some candles lit on my behalf. You may be wondering, Gonzalez, is that the correct name on the screen? And it is. I do have to explain that last name sometimes because I am what I like to call the LaCroix of Latinos. There's a little bit of flavor there, but I have to tell you what it is first, right? Whether you're joining us speaking in English or Spanish, though, thank you for being here. And that said, before we are going to kick things off, I would like to remind everybody that tonight's broadcast is also available with Spanish interpretation. Instructions on joining are in the live chat and on our website. So if you do speak Spanish or are with somebody or in communication with somebody who would like Spanish interpretation tonight, that is available. And for those of you who are new to the Brainworkers community, Brainworkers is an organization of food factory workers, organizing a union with the industrial workers of the world and fighting for dignified jobs and power in society. So tonight we're gathered for a very exciting reason. We're here to reflect on the past year, right? So we're going to hear about stories from food factory workers who are organizing with Brainworkers for dignified jobs. We're going to celebrate a few successes from this year, and we are going to hear from our honorees, representatives from the Fund for Excluded Workers Coalition and the Emergency Workplace Organizing Committee, also known as EWOC, a fun little acronym you'll hear later tonight. And we're also gathered to learn how we can all continue to support the work of this amazing community. So tonight you're also going to meet two of the event host committee members who will share why they support Brainworkers and this movement. I'm so excited to talk to them and hear from our honorees. We can also connect with one another through the live chat. So if you haven't already, please say hi in the live chat and let others know where you're joining from tonight. We'll shout you out and be saying hi throughout the night. And of course, we are here to raise critical funds to sustain Brainworkers' mission. Oh, great. We've got more folks joining us in the chat. We've got Sonia. Hi, everyone. Great to be here. We've got Diana. Oh, we've got folks recognizing each other in the chat. What better than that? Oh, and thank you for the happy birthday wishes. I really appreciate it. Just to let you all know before we keep going, we've made tremendous progress so far, raising more than $80,000 toward our $100,000 goal. That is incredible. It's a great achievement, but we've got a little bit more to go tonight, right? We're so close to reaching that goal, and I know we can do it. So we've got a really exciting program, some great conversations happening tonight, and we're going to keep raising funds to reach that $100,000 goal. Every gift, whether it's $25, $2,500, is going to help Brainworkers continue to support food workers. And it's very easy to give. You can just text the keyword give BW, just all those letters smashed together, GIVEBW, to 44321 to contribute. Again, that's give BW texted to 44321. You can also scan the QR code that is going to appear below. Look at this, amazing. And you can use your phone to donate too, just by scanning that QR code. So your support is going to help food factory workers fight for dignified jobs and help support so many of the people that you are going to hear from tonight. So let's start tonight's program hearing from those food factory workers directly about their vision for what their places of work could be like.
Yo lo que quisiera cambiar son los que nos pagaran los días personal y los días holiday. Y también que nos pagaran los días personal, porque los días holiday, pues no nos dan nada. Y también que nos pagaran los días personal, porque los días holiday, pues no nos dan nada. Y también que nos pagaran los días personal, porque los días holiday, pues no nos dan nada. Y también que nos pagaran los días personal, porque los días holiday, pues no nos dan nada. Y también que nos pagaran los días personal, porque los días holiday, pues no nos dan nada. Y también que nos pagaran los días personal, porque los días holiday, pues no nos dan nada. Y también que nos pagaran los días personal, porque los días holiday, pues no nos dan nada. Y también que nos pagaran los días personal, porque los días holiday, pues no nos dan nada. Y también que nos pagaran los días personal, porque los días holiday, pues no nos dan nada. Y también que nos pagaran los días personal, porque los días holiday, pues no nos dan nada. Y también que nos pagaran los días personal, porque los días holiday, pues no nos dan nada. Y también que nos pagaran los días personal, porque los días holiday, pues no nos dan nada. Y también que nos pagaran los días y nos cambiaran también, nos pusieran otro baño más, que eso nomás es un solo baño que tenemos y no se da abasto el baño para toda la gente que somos.
Mi nombre es Sabino Milián, soy de Guatemala, tengo 21 años trabajando aquí y soy miembro de Brainworkers desde el 2013. Yo cambiaría en mi sitio de trabajo las políticas para que los compañeros reciban sus pagos de los días de enfermedad y que no los pierdan al final de año.
Estamos trabajando duro sin recibir ningún beneficio y el favorecido aquí es el patrón, y eso es lo que nos tiene molestos, más a mí porque he trabajado duro en esa compañía y lamentablemente me han decepcionado por su forma de tratarme a mí como trabajador de ellos. Yo cambiaría las formas de pago en el trabajo. En este caso que estamos ahorita no es favorable para nosotros ni para ningún compañero mío.
Lo que me gustaría cambiar del trabajo es que haya mejor trato a la gente y que pudiéramos tener los beneficios como los holidays, días de enfermedad y las vacaciones.
Cambiaría la forma de control, la forma en que nos tienen controlados ahí. Nos tienen bajo cámara de vigilancia todo el tiempo en el trabajo y aparte de eso pues es una presión muy grande.
Hi, my name's Kevin. I've been a food manufacturing worker here in New York for the last 6 or 7 years, and I've been a Brandworkers member about 5 or 6 years. Something that inspires me about the future of organizing is just reading about the past and learning about the history of organized labor in New York. And bakers have been organizing and fighting the bosses since the late 1800s and struggling, and there's been wins and losses, and just feeling like part of that tradition and carrying the torch of everything that's been won before and everything we will win inspires me.
Yo
Que
quiero
nos pagaran los días
ser
personales.
escuchada.
Yo cambiaría
Las formas
en mi
de
sitio de trabajo
pago.
las políticas.
I have the great honor tonight of introducing our next speaker, Gabriel Morales. Gabriel, as he has shared with us many times, started off over 20 years ago in the movement, organizing in San Antonio, Texas, first in neighborhoods and communities, and then in his workplaces. He was instrumental in organizing his coworkers in a campaign at a Southern hotel that many thought would be impossible. Through the leadership of he and his coworkers, they were able to, against the odds, prevail and form their union. Over time, though Gabriel had contributed greatly to the labor movement, he wasn't sure if he was going to continue on. But he decided to take a chance, and he moved all the way across the country to New York City to start at Brandworkers. It's been an incredible 5 years through the challenges that we've all gone through, particularly food workers of color. Gabriel has been there, earning trust, earning the confidence of Brandworkers membership. His commitment to the growth of others, and most importantly, to his own growth as a leader is something remarkable, rarely seen. It is truly a thrill to see the leadership and vision of Brandworkers members going forward with the support of Brandworkers' next executive director, Gabriel Morales.
Thanks, Daniel. Well, I am honored to be here, and I am going to be speaking to y'all with Ann Clark, who is our board chair, Raimundo Lara Molina, who is another board member of Brandworkers, and Esme Huerta, who is a staff organizer with Brandworkers, and we are going to have a conversation.
Hola, Gabriel, te damos la bienvenida como nuevo director de Brandworkers. Escuché que tienes algunas pasiones específicas del liderazgo. ¿Nos puedes contar un poco de eso?
I think fundamentally what I'm passionate about, not in my non-organizing life, is about games, and like, you know, all kinds of different games, like you know, some are video games like Civilization 6, which none of you all have heard of. Some of them are board games, like chess. I like playing a lot of chess. Some are pen and paper games like Dungeons and Dragons, and then there's like a physical game that I enjoy playing. It's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and so my passion for gaming like influences the way that I approach building a team, because I feel like as a group, like we have to constantly try to learn how the best people in the world are doing something, and we have to challenge ourselves to like get to that level and like to improve our craft. And you know, our craft happens, it's not Pac-Man, it's like it's organizing.
I can see that you bring a lot of energy to the role. What most excites you about what Brandworkers is accomplishing right now?
What really excites me about the work that we're doing right now is that, you know, I think that we have a staff team here at Brainworkers that's, you know, we're constantly improving year in and year out. I've seen the team grow. I've seen the team learn from mistakes. And I've seen the team really become much more deliberate about becoming better at their craft. You know, I see the work that we're doing here in New York and the work that we're doing in New Jersey. You know, much of it is still underground, but we're approaching the work in a very deliberate way, in a very thoughtful way. You know, workers, members, and potential members, you know, they see this and they see the confidence that that the organizers have, and then they have the confidence that they can organize their unions. I see the growth of our ability to organize and do organizing work outside of the factory in our communities to further support worker organizing. And so I've seen all this work that we've done. I've seen the work that we've done for the Fund for Excluded Workers. That you know, thousands, both this year and last year, thousands of dollars that Brandworkers organizers and the team here has like helped get money into immigrant workers' hands. And so that's amazing work. What I've appreciated especially about that work is like the fact that not only are they getting sorely needed funds into the hands of these workers, but they're also using that work to advance worker organizing. It's a real opportunity to support workers as they build power in their workplace.
So everything that you've said so far, it really makes me think, how would you describe what success looks like in our organizing campaigns? And how can everyone be involved in making this a reality?
What I think that success looks like is fair pay, reasonable schedules, health and safety for workers, affordable health care, a viable path for retirement, really fundamentally dignity and justice in the workplace. But success for us is about workers having the one tool that allows them to achieve all of those things. And that's a union. And so people can get involved in that work by being ready to be in solidarity with food manufacturing workers in New York City and in New Jersey. You know, over the past year or so, we've really been working hard to study
and learn like what are the factors in play to help support workers to win their campaigns. One of the key things for us to do is to build a labor community coalition, and so folks should get involved in Hormiguero. They should, get involved in making phone calls and volunteering. And I think the other thing, so that's the first thing, and then the other thing is the organization needs to be resourced. And so I think that is the one thing that people need to do to make sure that we have, make sure that brand workers and the organizers have the resources that they need so that workers can win. And now is our opportunity. For over the past 2 years in this global pandemic, we've seen workers all across the country reaching out to us to support them in their organizing. And so there's a real moment right now in the country. And so we need the entire community to stand with us.
Thank you for sharing, Gabriel. We are really excited to work together to build this future.
Me mudé de México y me vine a Estados Unidos a buscar una mejor vida para mi familia. A mí me enorgullece saber que soy yo y ser una persona mexicana la que está haciendo que unos europeos se hagan de mucho dinero. Bueno, los problemas que hemos tenido, que yo he tenido personalmente, son cheques sin fondo que nos están supervisando todo el tiempo y yo me siento como si yo fuera un animal encerrado que no me puedo ir a ningún lado porque ahí están mis supervisores. A mí me gustaría que se cambie de gerentes porque los que están actualmente ahora no organizan. Entonces solamente exigen, pero no dan nada. Yo quiero ser escuchada. Quiero que sepan que mi trabajo y mi persona es valiosa para la compañía.
Thank you so much again for joining us tonight to hear about how food factory workers like Sofia are moving into action and to hear real life examples of some of the things Gabriel Morales talked about, the importance of dignified and equitable workplaces, right? And the best way for workers to get this done is through support, through organizing, bringing that sense of organizing into real life and bringing your passions in real life to your organizing. Thank you so much for those words and that advice. And just to let you all know, with the support of our sponsors and host committee members, we've raised over $80,000. We're so close to reaching our $100,000 goal. And we've actually had some donations tonight that I am very excited to share with you all. Folks like Eric, Linda, and Paul Duke, Hope Campbell, Linda Bloom, Eric Andre Bellinger, and there are so many anonymous donations coming in tonight. So we do have to give a shout out to some of our anonymous donors as well for making contributions. Even if we can't shout out your name tonight, each one of those contributions really means the world. So thank you so much to our 5 most recent donors, helping us inch so much closer to that $100,000 goal. We are so close. We're at $88,128. That's an absolutely thrilling amount to have raised so far, and we are getting closer. We're also excited to announce that every gift that you give tonight will be matched up to $8,000 by 2 very generous supporters. So please find your phone, text GIVE BW, that's GIVEBW, no space, to 44321, and you can follow the prompts to choose a gift level that feels right for you. Again, no matter the amount, each one of those contributions really makes a difference to brand workers. You can also visit brandworkers.org/gala to make a contribution. And we would meet our goal right now if even just 10 of you gave $1,000 in solidarity with food factory workers. With $1,000, brand workers can carry out one-on-one meetings with an entire organizing committee of workers so workers can learn key skills to win their campaign. So if you can give just $1,000, go ahead and text GIVEBW to 44321. We've got to thank Ria, one of our most recent donors, for giving $1,534. That's amazing. That's absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. And next up, we're actually going to hear from a host committee member who is watching tonight and who will share a little bit about why they support Brainworkers. So we're going to invite to join us tonight, Daisy. How are you doing tonight?
Hi, Gabe. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, I've known Brandworkers for over a decade now. Feels like family, right? The Brandworkers community. And I think, throughout all those years, Brandworkers has never strayed from its core vision for worker self-determination, that only organized food factory workers can truly transform their industry. So I'm really proud to support Brandworkers today and in the future, and keep those donations coming.
Absolutely. Yeah. Direct action, worker-led unions, that's the important thing. So in your 10 years having known Brandworkers and been involved with their effort, what's maybe the one thing that makes you the proudest to support Brandworkers?
The proudest,
I know it's a tough thing to ask. Yeah.
I know there's so many over the last 10 years. It was truly inspiring, the Tomcat campaign, and just being at those actions and seeing the leadership of Brandworkers members, and really seeing them. They were really truly the agents of change, right? Every step of the way. And that was really inspiring to me.
That's really encouraging to hear, to be able to pick out specific moments of real inspiration and solidarity together. Thank you so much for that, Daisy. Thank you for joining us tonight.
All right. Thank you, Gabe.
Appreciate it. We just heard from Daisy, and with $500, Brainworkers can organize an action that brings together members and allies to send a powerful message to factory owners that they must respect workers' voices. That's what Brainworkers has been achieving in the 10 years Daisy's been here and since they've been around. With 20 people giving just $500, we would meet our goal tonight. So if you can give $500 tonight to help galvanize the future of organizing, if that's something that you think you can do, you can again text GIVE BW, GIVE to 44321, or visit brandworkers.org/gala. So who is going to join in to make a $500 donation right now? That is something you can do. Again, whatever the amount, your donation, your contribution is important to help factory workers achieve a more dignified and equitable workplace, to help enable these direct actions, these moments of solidarity, these moments of organizing led by workers to make a difference in the workplace. So thank you for all the support tonight, supporting food factory workers win the resources they need to win workplace victories, connecting workers in a growing part of the food system with tools where workers are able to democratically operate in their industry. So let's bring up that donation wall one more time and see if we've got any folks to shout out if we could. Amazing. We've got Ria, another anonymous donation. Thank you so much to that. We really appreciate it. And now we've got another exciting guest joining us tonight, another committee member who's going to share a little bit about their experience with Brainworkers and why they're here. Let's please welcome Jez to the Brandworkers Gala. How are you doing tonight?
What's up? Hello. I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Amazing. Doing great. Really excited to be here. Couldn't think of a better way to celebrate my birthday. And Jez, you're joining us from a very special place. Would you mind sharing where you're joining us from?
That's right. I am at the library.
I love that. That's incredible. One of my favorite public resources in the city. It's my favorite.
Totally. Yeah, it's a real pleasure to be a librarian, personally, and I'm also rocking my my local, Brooklyn Public Library Workers, Local 1482. I really appreciate the benefits that a union can bring. So it's one of the reasons I'm excited about Brandworkers.
Awesome. And it sounds like that passion and that fire is sort of what brought you to Brainworkers. So could you talk to us a little bit about your experience working with them and maybe why you're proud to support Brainworkers?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, my journey into community organizing, begins in Occupy Wall Street, and seeing that I personally have abilities and a role in the pursuit of collective liberation, but also learning that there are people who are much subject to much greater oppression than I am. And so connecting to Brandworkers, who is organizing. They're organizing in the front lines of food factory workers who are immigrants, often subject to like sexual and gender violence, like all of these things that that are I don't have to actually deal with, like, and so I am an important part of this because, like, as a community member, I'm part of the El Hormiguero Anthill ally group, who's mobilizing people who aren't aware that, like, these things are still real. The injustices that we've inherited from, like, an oppressive food system in the United States are still here for people, and we need to mobilize to support them. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, thank you so much. And that echoes a lot of what Gabriel talked about earlier. And, you know, I think Occupy was such a turning point for so many folks thinking about collective liberation, and, you know, how so many of our struggles do intersect and overlap, and why it's important to uplift each other. So thank you so much, Jez, just for being here tonight and sharing a little bit of that perspective. I really appreciate it.
Totally. Thanks for having me. Happy birthday.
Thanks. Have fun at the library.
Totally.
Amazing. Oh, fantastic. Thank you again, Jez. That was so much fun. Thanks to both Daisy and Jez for their work supporting brand workers, for their work supporting collective liberation, organizing, and direct action that is helping workers all across our community. You know, this really does resonate outside of the work that we're doing here, right? This collective struggle is something that we all share in. So it was really fantastic hearing from both of them about why this work is important. So, exciting announcement. We have just $8,000 to go to meet our goal tonight. We've gotten a donation from Esme. Hey there. We've gotten a donation from Melissa, Navina. Amazing. Thank you all so much for donating. And again, it doesn't even have to be a lot. We've seen $10 donations. We've seen $1,000 donations. Every single one of these is absolutely important and helps the cause that we are helping celebrate and helping uplift tonight. So I invite everyone to give what you can. All of the contributions that we're seeing tonight are going to help food factory workers express their power together. So whatever gift feels meaningful to you means a lot. It would be a lovely birthday gift for me to have you give a gift to Brainworkers tonight. So thank you, everyone. And again, if you'd like to contribute, you can text GIVE BW to 44321. That's GIVE BW, GIVE BW to 44321. Or you can visit brandworkers.org/gala or gala tonight, since I'm hosting. Now we are going to hear from our champion of economic justice, Honorees, about their very powerful organizing. I'm so excited to hear from these groups. So without further ado, let's hear from these Honorees.
We're so proud to honor two champions of economic justice tonight. One group organized with over 200 different organizations throughout the state, and won funds for workers who lost work during the pandemic. That is, of course, the Fund for Excluded Workers campaign. And so pleased to welcome you, Nadia Marin Molina, the co-executive director of the National Day Labor Organizing Network, and Karina Kaufman Gutierrez from the Street Vendors Project. Thank you for being here. Our second champion of economic justice is a group that has connected workers to organizers across the country throughout the pandemic, helping workers organize under unprecedented circumstances to win things like hazard pay, safety, and even freedom from discrimination at work. That is the Emergency Workplace Organizing Committee, EWOC, and very pleased to welcome Emily Lemmerman here to represent EWOC tonight.
Thanks so much for having us, Rose.
We'd love to hear from you all on a few key issues. First, about what you've learned through this journey the past year, well, more than a year, almost 2 years. In the Excluded Workers Fund, the campaign for the Fund for Excluded Workers, Nadia, what is one thing that you learned through that campaign during the pandemic?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having us here. Thanks and congratulations to Brandworkers. And it's really an honor to be here on behalf of the Fund Excluded Workers Coalition. As you mentioned, the coalition comprised over 200 organizations in New York State and was really a historic, or is a historic campaign with a powerful movement towards being able to win something that, to tell you the truth, many of us thought was impossible, and we were certainly told it was impossible in the beginning. In terms of having a fund that would cover workers who were excluded from being able to receive unemployment insurance, from being able to receive any kind of COVID relief. And so I think the first thing that I would mention that we saw and really learned collectively in the coalition was just the power of having a big vision, right? A bold vision, and saying we have to fight for what we need. We have to fight for equality, right? We weren't fighting just for a small amount, because what the community needed was something much bigger than I think even we had the ability to think about in the very beginning. That's I think what's stuck in my head, and I think that's the spirit that keeps the coalition moving through now the implementation and now on to the next phases of the fight.
Karina, what did the Street Vendors Project learn throughout the process of the Excluded Workers campaign?
I definitely want to echo what Nadia said. And to that, I would say not only not to have a big vision, but to never give up. Never settle. That was there were times we were challenged on that. Don't get me wrong, right? There are times where we have to negotiate. We need to have a bare minimum of relief. We need, people are starving, quite literally starving. Our community is starving right now. We need to deliver something, right? And so there are moments where we were about to settle, right? Or we were about to say, we need to just get this moving. We need to have this happen now. But through that, it was commitment from each and every person who was in the coalition that we were not going to settle, that we were not going to be accepting crumbs. That even when legislators are trying to say, just take what you're getting, stop fighting for more, you got what you got, right? We would say, no, actually, we demand more. And I'm thinking very specifically about this phrase of the devil's in the details, right? That came up over and over again throughout our campaign. We got this fund, but is it accessible, right? So that's a whole nother campaign that we add on to it because, frankly, our communities have lived in the shadows for so long, have been excluded for so long that our realities are not well known, right? So a big part of this whole campaign was to bring reality to the forefront, into people's faces, into people's doorsteps.
Can you tell us, Emily, a little bit about what you all have learned and the communities that you've been organizing with throughout the pandemic?
To speak to Nadia and Karina's points, I think that we've been having to and able to dream big and imagine what the largest possible vision is of the kinds of things that workers and everyday people can ask for. But I think a big thing that we at EWOC have learned throughout the pandemic is that people do want more. People, everyday people who work in workplaces as varied as museums, as varied as, food manufacturing, retail, fast food, all sorts of people in all sorts of industries, they're joined together in asking for more, wanting for more, and also often for essential workers in realizing their power as workers that can join together and ask for more. So not only, I think, did we realize that, it was important to have a big vision, but we realized that, there's so many people out there who do want more and who do have an expansive vision for themselves, for their families, for their workplace. And I think, to borrow words from another EWOC organizer, Eric Dernbach, we know that millions of workers want a union when they're surveyed about it, but there aren't easy ways to bring them into the way that unions work right now. And through EWOC in the last year and a half, we've been able to bring an alternative model of organizing in people's workplaces, and that's sort of been met or been able to meet people where they're at, which is that people are really excited about organizing their workplaces. People are really ready to ask for more, and I think that's been the most exciting thing that we've learned.
How do we galvanize the future of worker-led organizing?
I think that, through the campaign, we were able to see the power of being in the street, right? The power of mobilizing and not being afraid to. So I think one of the things that I've really seen within the campaign, and that I think that the coalition had a really good grasp of so far, has been the focus on making sure to mobilizing was not sort of the last option, right? It was throughout the campaign. And I think that we need to see that in every area of work, right? With regard to workers' health and safety, the pandemic has shown the difficulty, right, of the current situation. With regard to immigration, it's a disaster in terms of undocumented workers, right? So there's so many areas where we really need to rely on and make sure to build the power of workers, right? Rather than than taking what, as Karina was saying, legislators or, people who are sort of more connected believe that they know to be true, and making our own version of the truth. I think that we have to, we have to figure out how to do that in multiple ways on multiple fronts.
So I think now we're in a moment of, quote unquote economic recovery, right? But the reality is day laborers, food workers, street vendors have all for a very long time been excluded from basic worker protections and from basic benefits. And in a way, the pandemic has created a new class of workers, of excluded workers, right? And I think now when we're looking towards what this actual economic recovery period can look like, it's our chance to actually look back at the policies that created the realities of the pandemic, that created this excluded worker class, that we can actually really be learning from one another and continuing to work together across these industries of day laborers, street vendors, food factory workers, and really be pushing together for not an undoing of what's been done before, of the chaos and exclusion that was created, but a redoing of it moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of kind of this class of excluded workers also, and thinking to some extent how many people might feel very disempowered to make any sort of difference in their workplace or expect anything more from their workplace. I think it's really, really important to promote, when we talk about worker-led organizing, I think the fastest way to grow is to empower workers to take matters into their own hands, to know that they really possess the power together to make a change, whether that's in the world, in the workplace. And I think that we should create structures that empower everyday people to identify as workers. Most of us work for a wage, and to organize within their workplaces, and then to encourage other people to do the same. Like, I think it really is a domino effect. Once one person feels really empowered to make a difference, to talk to someone else, then that person feels empowered to talk to someone else. And I think it's really important that we are able to empower workers, empower other everyday people just to take things into their own hands. And I do think it's important to have a terrain, a policy terrain, a legal terrain, in terms of laws that are friendly. But I think that it's incredibly important for people to know the power of organizing, which is really hard, unpleasant at times work. That's, mapping power, identifying leaders who can move other people in their workplaces, and then making change from there. And I think that's something that everyone can do, that everyday person, every worker can do. And I think that worker-led organizing begins there.
Well, thank you all so much. I'm so proud to be in movement with you all. Brandworkers is so proud to be in this movement for worker justice with you all, with all the members of the Excluded Worker Campaign Coalition, and all the volunteers and participants in EWOC. We're so pleased to honor you all as our champions of economic justice this year. And it's been really great to chat with you.
We've heard from so many incredible folks tonight. Let's give it up one more time, even though we're not live, for our honorees tonight, the Fund Excluded Workers Campaign and the Emergency Workplace Organizing Committee. Just two incredible honorees doing such important work to organize, to mobilize, to really activate communities, to demand better and more dignified conditions for all of us, workers across the board, and so many who were excluded. It's important as well to look back on the past year and celebrate the moments we've been able to galvanize the future of worker organizing with food factory workers. We also heard from Brainworkers' new executive director, Gabriel Morales, who shared some really important things he's learned in the world of organizing and working with Brainworkers. And most importantly, we do have to thank all our sponsors and contributors tonight who made this possible. So we've actually got some really exciting news. We've had so many more donations come in since I last checked in with you. We've had donations from Naomi, Christina, Jez, one of our guests, Reina, Kiara, Garrett, Krishnendu, Rachel, Amy, Sharon, Leanne, Christina, and Daniel. So if I am not mistaken, it looks like we may have reached our goal tonight. We are almost there. Look at that, $9,994 out of $100,000, our goal. It looks like we're going to meet it tonight, and that is so thrilling. That is the most incredible news that I could share with you all at the end of tonight's gala. You can still make your gift if you haven't yet by texting GIVEBW to 44321. That's GIVEBW, GIVEBW to 44321, or scanning the QR code on your screen, or visiting brandworkers.org/gala. Look at that. In the time it took me to say that, we fully exceeded our goal. The donation wall has been updated. I am so incredibly thankful and so proud of everybody watching tonight for helping make that happen. Let's stay in touch and continue to support food factory workers organizing by visiting brandworkers.org and following Brandworkers on social media. I'm Gabe Gonzalez. I've been your host tonight. Thank you to Brandworkers for having me and to everyone for joining us. Have a fantastic night.